Hello, friends, and welcome back. I am excited to share with you the first couple weeks with little sweet Theodore James, and I am going to share with you how the first couple weeks have gone and what I've been up to, and so I'm excited to bring you along. I am trying to record this while Theo is sound asleep about 6 inches from my leg, and my husband is home from work and kids are playing outside, so it might be a little loud and crazy in the background. But 'tis my life, 'tis my life. So I was very pleased with myself. I officially spent 11 or 12 days in my bedroom, mostly in or on my bed. And this was so huge for me because I knew that this could potentially be very difficult. But here we are. My family has been taking care of me. They have been so gracious. I have felt really uncomfortable laying up in my bed and yelling down the stairs, "Can somebody please help me? Can somebody please bring me water? Can somebody please bring me food?" And yes, I know that they are happy to help, but being someone who doesn't like to ask for help often, it is very uncomfortable for me to be so needy. So my sweet Gemma and Selah went out to the garden, got me tomatoes, and made me tomato and basil balsamic vinegar, kind of like a caprese salad sort of thing without the mozzarella. And then they also picked some raspberries and then sliced up some apples and made me a delicious little snack. And they also got me a glass of kavita, which is, I think this is water kefir. It's either water kefir or kombucha. It's one of those two. And I had to laugh because Selah gave me a little warning that there were fruit flies in the cup before I drank it. So here Gideon is wailing. He says he's not hurt, but he was definitely emotionally upset because our rooster attacked him. Now, I have been attacked by this rooster, and this rooster drew blood, and I did not end his life because the kids had said that he was not causing them issues. And so I thought, all right, well, if he just came after me and he's not attacking my kids, some of you who have chickens might know that actually having an aggressive rooster, as long as it's not towards people, it actually is not a big deal because then they protect the hens really well. So I can handle being attacked by a rooster, though I don't love it. I just didn't want my kids attacked. So here Gideon got attacked. He's scared. And I told him, you know what? And I'm sorry if this upsets people, but it is life. Let's take a knife to his throat and let's make chicken pot pie. So once I get out of my bed, hopefully next week, and am feeling a little bit more ambitious, we are going to make some chicken pot pie with said rooster. I also thought it was pretty hilarious. It actually wasn't funny at the moment. I was a little upset at the moment. But once I realized how funny it actually kind of was, Gideon was explaining to me that he was collecting eggs and he used his shirt to put all the eggs in the shirt. And this is why I was upset, because I've always made it very clear, take the egg cartons so we don't have issues with eggs breaking. Well, he chose to put the eggs all in his shirt, and when he got attacked by the rooster, he dropped all the eggs. I would love to witness this fiasco because I definitely think that it would be pretty hilarious. Anyway, so the eggs are gone for the day. Now I want to talk a little bit about the importance of the postpartum recovery period. Most people, and I also thought this way as well, believe that you can just have a baby and jump right back up, and the sooner you do it, the more power to you. And what I've realized is that your body really, really needs and deserves this time to rest. So for someone like me who likes to constantly be doing things, this was definitely a big struggle and a challenge for my willpower to stay put. Don't get me wrong, I loved every single minute of snuggling with Theodore, but it is difficult when things are going on outside or you hear the commotion going on downstairs and you want to be able to help. You don't want to ask people to bring you food up and down the steps and stuff. But I am 40 years old next week, and so I know that I need to take a little bit better care of myself this time around, especially. So when that placenta detaches from your uterus, it leaves an open wound. So just like anything, like a broken bone, like a large wound on your body, you need that time period for the tissue to heal. So as my uterus shrinks down and as my body heals, then I can do more. However, you still need to get that initial recovery period underneath of you. So I spent almost 2 weeks, very, very low activity, just around my bed as needed. And then I paid close attention to my body. When I started noticing that there was bleeding that started, or if I started noticing any cramping picking back up, I took it easy the next day. I immediately told everybody, hey, I need to slow down and I need to kind of reset a little bit and take it easy again. So I think that was one of the biggest things that I was really sensitive to, just paying attention to my body. If I needed to lay down more instead of sitting up more, my body would let me know. Believe me, it did. So I'm just focusing on taking it easy, recovering, resting, and being a snuggle to my little snuggle baby, because all he wants is mama. He just wants to snuggle with me and to be held and kissed and all those good things. So I was more than happy to really focus on taking this time just to give him me one-on-one. Having freezer meals ready to go this time around has been a game changer. My 2 older daughters have been wonderful about making meals. My oldest made sesame chicken and then also made a garlic and creamy chicken, like a pasta dish. It was amazing. And my second oldest was making several lunches for us. And then even my 10-year-old Gemma, she was on coffee duty and made me delicious coffee every morning and helped get me breakfast in bed. So they all genuinely were a huge help when it came to getting the meals ready for me and then also for Chris when he came home. And they did an amazing job of keeping the kitchen and the dining room clean for us. So that was just a huge blessing. Some advice that I might give to a new mom, or maybe even a mom that has only done this once or twice: do not take for granted these times that you have with your little ones, because anybody that has raised their children will be able to tell you that you forget these precious newborn days. You think that you might not forget about it. You think, how can something so precious leave your memory? But I'm telling you, it does. And just take this time and really savor the moments that you have with them. Raising a newborn for me has been pretty simple. I say that after having a really bad night last night, but honestly, it's pretty straightforward. I don't really document anything. Sure, when you have your first and you go to the hospital, they tell you to document how many times they pee, how many times they poop, how often they nurse. And to be honest, it almost becomes more stressful trying to keep track of stuff like that. So I just make note, yep, they're peeing, yep, there's bowel movements every day, and then I nurse on demand. Whenever that baby is fussy, I am that baby's dairy cow. So I do not hold back. Now, it is very difficult sometimes in these beginning phases, because what most people do not tell you is how painful it can be breastfeeding when your nipples have not been desensitized. It is a little bit challenging. I think that is one of my biggest struggles in the beginning phases of having a newborn. And once you get past those first few weeks, I'm still kind of in the thick of it, but once you get past those first few weeks, breastfeeding becomes so much easier. And really, it's just, I've had foster children that I have bottle fed, and having to get that bottle prepared in the middle of the night and then hold the baby in the rocking chair and feed it. Oh my goodness, breastfeeding is so much easier. So when I have this baby sleeping with me, it just sleeps right in the little nook in my armpit. I have a couple little blankets on either side of the baby's body, so that way the baby does not roll either towards me or towards my husband. And whatever side I need to nurse on, I just move my elbow over and lay on my side. I prop my back up with a pillow so that way I can lean against that pillow, and I have my arm up over the baby's head, and we just fall asleep together while that baby's nursing. And then a couple hours later, the baby wakes up, and I pick the baby up, take it to the other side, snuggle it in with the little, it's just little baby blankets, just kind of create a little ledge, and put that baby right back underneath the nook of my armpit again, and we fall back asleep. And that has been the most successful way for me to get sleep and still be able to function while having a newborn. Well, I don't ever suffer from postpartum depression with any of my babies. I'm very, very fortunate. I know there are lots of people who do, and it is awful. Like destroys your life. Like, it's so bad, and I feel so sorry for people that have to go through it. I, like I said, have not ever had to suffer through postpartum depression. However, my precious little glowworm turned into full-blown dragon last night. And I suspect it is because I had coffee with heavy cream. I had an ice cream sandwich with cream. And then we had a creamy pasta chicken dish last night, which had heavy cream and cheese. And I know that my babies don't do well with dairy, and the gas was outrageous last night. The poor thing would lay there, sound asleep for about 3 minutes, and then just wake up screaming. And so all he wanted to do was nurse all night long. And so I would nurse him, he'd fall asleep. I knew I needed to burp him in order to prevent the gas buildup, but every time I burp him, he'd wake up, and I just wanted him to sleep, and he was up all night long. And it was legit, like, the first time I've experienced a portion of postpartum depression, because I bawled, sobbed for I think 6 hours straight. And it's like, how can you love something so much that he makes you cry, and then you're also crying because he won't let you sleep? and I am so sore from nursing him over and over and over again. And it was so bad. It was such a bad place. So I don't like waking Chris up, because I know he's working, and he needs to be present for work, and he needs a good night's sleep. But I finally was just like, I can't do this anymore. I cannot do this anymore. You just start going to a real dark place in your mind. And so fortunately he got up and he took the baby, and he stopped crying as soon as Chris took him. He had him on his chest and was just sitting him in the rocking chair. Now, I would have sat in the rocking chair if my hips allowed, but right now my body is so sore and so jacked up from birth still. Like, I'm doing well, but I'm still so sore. Like, I just wanted to lay down so bad last night. So he took him and walked him around, and he fell asleep. And then as soon as he'd lay him down on the bed, he'd wake up screaming again. So it was a wild night. It was a wild night. And he's so stinking cute. Little peanut.
Why? Oh.
Little
You.
peanut.
Y-O-U. You. Well, what does Y-O-U spell?
Y-O-U spells you.
Got him.
Sure. Did you blow your nose? Oh. I hear the kids screaming that pigs got loose. It is day 7 of my recovery. And I'm really trying to do the 5-5-5 rule. 5 days in bed, 5 days on your bed, 5 days around your bed. The first 5 days have been kind of more of like an in/on. Like I've been sitting a lot. And I don't want to get up and go chase pigs right now. So I'm praying that they got them in, but I can hear everybody out there hooting and hollering, and I'm not chasing pigs. 7 days postpartum. I'm just not doing it. They're not going to run away. If not, if the rest of their buddies are in pens, right? Do pigs run away? I guess we'll find out, because it is not worth it for 2 pigs. They can run away if they want to. Anybody want, to go wild boar hunting? There you go. You're welcome. I'm just gonna stay here and snuggle up in bed with baby, who's sound asleep right now. And I just thought it was so special. I am sitting here in my bedroom, looking out my window at my children having fun and laughing and playing, and I recognize absolutely how blessed I am to be right where I am. I feel a little bit like The Walking Dead. I have not been out of my bedroom since Sunday. Since Sunday. 12 days. 12 days I've been in my room. Oh, what an awesome day to be out. My body is going to be hurting. I'm going to my store because that's where I have all of my food that I saved up, because this mama's hungry, so I'm hunting food down. No, not maybe later. Yeah. So I'm gonna go hunt through my freezer for food, and then go back to bed with baby. Well, today is 14 days after my sweet little Theodore was born, and this weekend Chris and I got out of the house and we went to the black tie event and got a hotel room down in Baltimore and really had a wonderful time. I was freaking out a little bit because up until Thursday was the first day that I attempted to do steps. I did them one time. I went downstairs, and that was a little rough for me. So then Friday I went down twice, and then we had the black tie event on Saturday. So I was really nervous because it's not like I had a lot of time to feel better. I didn't have much time to test out my body before leaving and going to Baltimore. So on Saturday, we left around noon, went out to lunch, walked a little bit down around the Inner Harbor, and that was a little rough. I was really nervous. I hadn't walked other than around my bedroom, and we walked a couple blocks. I was carrying the baby. So I was really, really happy with how well my body handled it. And then I knew for the black tie event, I would be sitting down for the most part. So I was, and that really was fine. So I felt great. And honestly, so now that was Saturday, and then Sunday we came home. Today is Monday. I feel really good today. I feel really, really good today. We did a full day of school while the baby was sleeping, and So now I'm headed out to check on my cows. I have not seen my livestock. Oh my gosh, it's probably been 3 weeks because I really didn't come out much and pay much attention to them that last week that I was waiting for him to be born. I did walking, but I was out in the other direction. So, hey Shay. Oh yeah. So, you're so cute. So anyway, so I am out here right now with the cows. We're gonna go see how they're doing. Marge! There is large Marge. I hear you barking all night. So when the dogs bark, it gets me really nervous because usually they're barking for a reason. They were barking yesterday because pigs were loose. And so of course I am all nervous that an animal is loose. All day, I shouldn't say all day. For a little while I've been hearing these cows mooing, and so it was making me nervous that maybe one was loose, or maybe they ran out of water, and it looks like they have run out of hay. I'm also going to check the water because Selah does a pretty good job with it. Oh yeah, you guys have plenty of water. She does a pretty good job with it, but she is 8, and so I do have to get on her every once in a while. So anyway, everybody looks really, really good. We take the bull to the butcher shop in 2 weeks. Daisy, I'm gonna start milking her again. So I've stopped milking. It's been a month, easily a month since I've milked her last. So it's gonna take me a week or so to get her production back up and running again if I give her lots of grain and I milk her every day. So so we'll start working on that. I'm not doing that right now. I'm feeling a little ambitious, over ambitious. I don't want to jump into things too quickly, but I'm hoping to be able to slowly make my way back out here and start doing some things with the animals. So there they all are. And the kids, I hear the kids way out there.
I think it's in the woods.
I see they're in the woods. All right, here are the puppies. Hey guys. Oh my gosh. And then this garden. That is what's next. So my plan with the garden is once I'm feeling better, I am going to slowly take some time every day and just start weeding it, pulling it up, covering it, whatever I need to do. Some of the weeds I'm going to pull up. Some of them I'll cover with tarps. Some of them I'll cover with cardboard. So that's my plan. And we're just going to slowly work on it a little bit at a time throughout the winter, and hopefully get it in a better place for the spring so that way I can actually have a functioning, profitable garden next year. So that's my goal. The reality of it is, who knows, because you can only do so much with a little baby. So we'll see. So now that it is the beginning of my second week, I have decided to venture outside and get a little bit of sunlight and get my feet in the dirt. Some people will understand that as grounding, and I don't know how much it helps, but I know that people swear by grounding. So I have been in bed for so long and not been outside and touched the earth. So I am super excited to get my feet in the dirt and ground myself and get baby outside, get some fresh air, and just try and enjoy the last of the beautiful fall days before the temperature starts to drop. The kids have all been such huge helpers in taking care of this baby. Whenever I need a little break, whenever I need someone to just kind of step in and help me out, whether it be while I'm trying to go to the bathroom or while I'm trying to eat, or even if I just need a few minutes to just take a breather, I have so many people willing to help me. What people don't realize when you say, oh, I have 7 children, we don't have 7 babies, okay? I've got 7 children, sure, but my 17-year-old and 14-year-old and 10-year-old and 8-year-old and 6-year-old and even 4-year-old can do a lot for themselves. I don't have 7 dependent babies that all rely on me. My older children help run the house when I'm trying to recover, or even on any given day. One of them can take over and say, hey, let's get the dining room table wiped off, or hey, let's go find your shoes, or I've got so many other helpers. Now, the one difficult thing is to make sure that you don't abuse that, because I don't believe that children should be raising their younger siblings, but I think it is a healthy sibling relationship to be able to step in and help them. And also, on one hand, there is that family unit. We all are working together to make this happen. And so I really don't have much pushback from my kids. I also try and be really sensitive that if my kids are being asked to babysit, if my older kids are being asked to babysit, that I try to either pay them with cash or get them something that they might need, or even if we're going out to dinner, I'll bring them something home. Like, we really try and make sure that we don't abuse that, because again, it's not their job to be another mom. And so I try to be sensitive to that. But these girls have been so excited, well, and Gideon too. So all of these kids have been so excited about little Theodore, and they have just been such huge helpers, helping me change diapers and rocking him when he's gassy and burping him. And so it's just been a really, really wonderful time. And so here Selah is taking him out on the swing and just rocking him to sleep on the swing. So again, they have been such huge helps. And then we think it was a deer that died. So it's hunting season now, and also deer moving. So either someone shot a deer and missed, or one got hit by a car and ran into the field. But we had a dead, I'm pretty sure it's a deer, carcass out in the field, and we had so many bald eagles come and eat off of that carcass, which was really cool to not only see them, but also hear their calls. And here, this is the second bald eagle that's landed in a tree in our front yard. So just magnificent. And I also think that it's kind of interesting because it is the day before election day, and we happen to see a bald eagle. It's just kind of like, I don't know what it means, but it's pretty funny. What a coincidence. Leave it alone.
I saw it fine. I thought it was a turkey bucket. I saw it real. That is incredible. I have a better view here.
So this week we also started our homeschooling back up. So today we are doing history and science, which is a slightly longer day. Usually we'll make sure that we get our math and our English and reading and Bible done, and then history and science is kind of an extra thing. So I was feeling a little aggressive and ambitious today, so we got those subjects done, which our science and our history we do as an entire family. All of the children participate in those together, and we just adjusted according to the older girls versus the younger kids on what type of work and what quantity of work they need to do. So here I'm helping Selah and Gideon with their math and their English. And then after everybody has finished their school, the younger kids in the afternoon will go play outside and do any interest-led learning that they want to do. And then also the older girls, then they finish working on whatever subjects that they need to spend a little more time on. So right now I am reviewing the science and the history for the next day to make sure that if I need any supplies that I have them, and just to kind of get a grasp on what I'm getting ready to help them learn for the next day. And now that I am feeling better and coming downstairs regularly every day, I decided that I would start helping out a little bit. I certainly, feel like I need to pull a little bit more weight around here. So I am trying to at least load the dishwasher and get the kitchen cleaned up a little bit. And it feels really good. I know it's crazy. It feels really good to kind of get back to a little bit of normalcy. So again, I know I've said this a couple times. I'm just paying really close attention to my body. If I'm starting to hurt, if I'm starting to bleed, if I'm starting to feel lethargic, I have no issue coming right back upstairs and laying in bed for a day. So I'm just trying to take it very slow, very easy. And my family has been very supportive, that they know if mama needs to take a break and kind of step back a little bit, then they will take over. They do not expect me to be down here and doing this. I willingly want to come down and just kind of move my body a little bit. And then the pigs all needed more food, and the younger kids went up and got a bunch of buckets of food. So I'm just checking on them. I haven't really been outside to see the pigs very much at all, just kind of from a distance. So I'm just checking on fencing and feeders, and honestly just getting out and walking around with little Theodore. So I am just enjoying these beautiful fall evenings. Thank you all so much for your very, very kind and supportive words through my birth. I know that it was a very vulnerable video for me to share with everybody, but based on a lot of the responses that I've got, it has been a blessing to people, which is the reason why I do it. I have such a beautiful story to share with our story of fertility and miscarriage and children, and I just love being able to hear other people's stories and how it encourages them, which this is the reason God gave me this story. It is to encourage other people that are going through very similar situations like this. So I am hoping to be a fellow sister to come alongside you and encourage you in life, in raising children. And so I just really appreciate the kindness and the graciousness that everybody's had towards me and my family. What are you doing?
I want to paint the baby head.
You wanted to paint the baby's head with fingernail polish?
Yeah.
Okay. Why would you paint a baby's head purple?
I paint the baby head pink and purple.
Shay. Okay. Well, I don't think that's... I mean, now she kind of looks ugly. I mean, she looks ugly. I don't know, why would you do that? And you paint your toenails? What did you paint? Let me see your feet. What did you do?
Paint my toenails.
It looks like you painted your whole body. Child.
Uh-uh.
Did you paint anything else? Okay. Oh, and your fingernails? Okay. Okay, let's close that up, please. And let's be done.
Why?
Okay, because that's going to need to dry now, so go take it outside to dry, okay? Come on, let's go. Yeah.
Mom, why I can't paint the baby?
Because it's just not, I mean, definitely recommend teaching your young children how to cook so that one day they make you sesame chicken for lunch. Gosh. The chicken is crunchy. It was fried in pork lard. And, if you could just taste this. Thank you, teenage daughters. Thank you so much. All right, so I have to tell you a very funny story about my postpartum recovery with my second biological daughter. And because I just thought, you know, this puts chasing pigs to shame, which I didn't end up doing. I did not end up chasing pigs the other day. Okay, and side note, I know I feel like a squirrel sometimes. I am walking very gingerly down these stairs because I slipped down them and fell yesterday, and I think broke my toe. So I do not need flashbacks of you know, me busting my butt literally on the steps. I have a massive bruise, a deep, deep bruise on my butt cheeks right now because I ate it. I hit it hard. I was definitely whimpering on the steps for a few minutes, just trying to collect myself. Anyway, so back to my postpartum recovery with Gemma. So I had her the very end of January. It was in the middle of a snowstorm. And I looked out my window and I see my dog, who we don't have anymore. Not because she did this, but just because. So I looked out my window to see my dear sweet dog, mouth covered in blood, snow covered in blood, and she is eating my old sheep. Now, I don't know if there was just some sort of instincts that she knew that this sheep was dying. And she was. I mean, we knew we're going to have to put her down soon. So we were, you know, it was just one of those things like, you know, what point do you put an old sheep down? Well, my dog clearly decided that it was definitely too old and needed to be put down. So I look outside and I see my dog, like I said, covered in blood, blood everywhere, and my sheep was dying, and blood was coming out of her neck. Mind you, I am literally like 3 or 4 days postpartum, okay? I'm wearing a diaper and I walk out my front door and I am trudging through the snow trying to figure out what the heck is going on. It was a little bit terrifying also. And I call my father-in-law, who lived right next door at the time, and I said, you know, and he was working, so he wasn't able to help me at the time. But I said, can you please come over? Can you please help me? I need you to shoot this sheep for me. I explained what happened, and he said, well, just take a machete and just chop its head off. So that way, you know, he's like, I'm about a couple hours away. I won't be able to help you. Just take a machete and chop its head off. So I'm like, how in the world am I, okay, all right, Lee, you can do this. Like, just chop its head off, just chop its head off. I'm like, I can't do it. I can't chop its head off. So I call my friend and I said, will you please come over and shoot this sheep for me, because I just can't do this. So he comes over and he disposes of the sheep. And my father-in-law then came a few hours later and was just kind of checking up on me. And he said, he's like, yeah, you know, did you chop its head off? I said, no, I could not go out there and start hacking away at a sheep's head. And he goes, sheep? I thought you said chicken. I was like, no, it wasn't a chicken that was bleeding out. It was my sheep. And he goes, oh my gosh, I never would have asked you to go out there and chop a sheep's head off. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? I'm sitting here thinking that I am some sort of wuss because I can't go outside with a machete and chop my sheep's head off. And here he thought it was a chicken. I'm just picturing myself. Could you imagine this postpartum woman on her hands and her knees out there hacking a sheep's head off with a machete? Oh my gosh. Anyway, I'm so glad that I didn't listen to him. What is it?
My eyes is open all the way.
Your eyes are open all the way? Like who? Like baby Theo? Is that what his eyes look like? Man, that's right. I can't quite see him. Hang on, let me see if I can flip this around. Whoa. His eyes, look at how big his eyes are.
And I see.
You're right, just like what? Show me again. Whoa. That's what his eyes are like?
This what I can do.
That's what you can do. I know, just like him.